The Mariners, we go over into the Storm segment of the show, and just like last week, 2-1 record over the past 3 games. That's winning. I mean, I'll take that, but how that loss came about isn't fun, and we'll look at that. So, anyway, the first 2 games of the week are both Commissioner's Cup games, as the Storm were not, unfortunately, able to continue into the Commissioner's Cup championship game that will be hosted by the New York Liberty. They played 1 game at home this past week. That was June 11th versus the LA Sparks, an LA Sparks team that's largely figuring things out. Does have some young talent, though, in Rakia Jackson and Cameron Brink. De'Erica Hamby's having a great year. Former Storm player Kia Nurse is down there now as well. So is Jordan Canada, other former Storm player. So is Steph Talbot. Yes, a bunch of former Storm players. I'm sorry. The Storm would win this one by a score of 95-79. Our player of the game forward, Nneka Ogwumike, or as Jewell Loyd called her in the post-game press conference, Big Shot Neck. Or Nneka, Big Shot Nneka. She used both of those during the post-game press conference, to which Nneka said, "They don't call me that." And I'll include that clip here.
No, I mean, she's Big Shot Nneka. That's not what they call me, but okay. Yeah. It started now. What do you mean? Okay. I just told the secret to the world. Sorry, I haven't said it more to you. Maybe the first time I've heard that, folks. Just letting you know. That's crazy.
Thoughts on just what she did in that fourth quarter?
Yeah, Big Shot Nneka. I love that.
Nneka, 26 points, 8 rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 blocks on the night. Ogwumike was big for the Storm in closing out her former team, hitting some big shots on the night and shooting 73% from the field in this game, which is absolutely ridiculous. As the Storm, they held the lead throughout the course of this game. The Sparks would not back down, though. They are a team that will fight, and they did do that. But thankfully, with the help of Ogwumike, the Storm would pull away in this one in front of a nice crowd at Climate Pledge Arena. Then the Storm would go on the road for the first of a 3-game road trip, June 13th at the Dallas Wings, a 92-84 victory. This game didn't start out too hot for the Storm. Dallas was using their size inside. I believe it was Kalani Brown. We can get that right here. Tiara McCowan and Dallas were really helping to put that together, using their size. As you know, outside of Mercedes Russell, Seattle's roster is largely a smaller roster to an extent, at least compared to what Kalani Brown. I was right. Yay. Kalani Brown and Tiara McCowan, 2 6'7" centers on that roster. And they were doing this without forward Natasha Howard, which is kind of incredible to think about. And I believe Satu Sabali is still out. Yes. So, but the Storm would win this one. If the Storm had won this game by 50 points, because of point differential, they would have advanced over the Minnesota Lynx into the Commissioner's Cup final. But because they didn't do that, because both the Storm and the Lynx finished with a 4-1 record in Commissioner's Cup play, but the Lynx had the point differential advantage by 50 points, the Lynx advanced to play the Liberty in the Commissioner's Cup final. So that will be that. Our player of the game for this win on June 13th at the Wings was guard Skylar Diggins-Smith. Sky, 21 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists, and 2 steals on the night as the Storm closed out Commissioner's Cup play. And then to wrap up the weekend, this was the one loss of the week, as you can tell. June 16th at the Mercury, a 78-87 loss. Our player of the game, guard Skylar Diggins-Smith, with 14 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block. Seattle had 4 starters in double digits, and Jordan Horston had double digits off the bench, but they really couldn't contain the Storm from the perimeter. Brittany Griner had a big game in this one. Her and Kalia Copper combined for, I believe it was 58 points in this one. Yes, 58 points. Kalia Copper, 30 points. 3 for 7 from the 3-point line, 5 for 5 from the free throw line. Brittany Griner, 28 points in this one, 10 for 15 from the field. She had a 3-pointer as well. 9 rebounds, 2 blocks in this one. BG really kind of established herself in this game, as the Mercury are kind of starting to put things together once again. And the Storm struggled from 3. They're not a 3-point shooting team, but nonetheless they struggled. 5 for 26 from the 3-point line, 19.2% percentage. The only starters to hit three-pointers were Diggins-Smith and Victoria Vivians. Those two went 3 for 8 together. Yeah, this was a tough one. I mean, Seattle really could not handle Phoenix from the three-point line in this one. Phoenix 7 for 18. Phoenix shot 50% overall. Brittany Griner had a big game. Clea Copper had a big game. Seattle did make a push late, but it wasn't enough, and Phoenix was able to hold them off. And the Storm have now lost just 2 of their last 10 games, which isn't the end of the world. Some people will react as it is, but I mean, I look at it as, this, and this has been pushed from all of us at Circling Seattle Sports, whether it's Christian, Rowan, myself. This team will continue to grow and learn. It's a 40-game season. It's not, what are they at now, a 14-game season. You'll have a lot to learn. They were without Mercedes Russell. We'll look at the injury availability reports right after I finish this. It's not the end of the world. Brittany Griner is one of the best players in the world. Clea Copper obviously showed she's one of the better players in the league. It's going to happen. So we look at it. The injury reports against the Sparks and the Wings were both clean, but June 16th at the Mercury Center, Mercedes Russell was out with an illness. This was a late addition closer to game time. It was clean the night before, but Russell has an illness and missed that game. Our player of the week for this past week for the Storm, I went with Nneka Ogwumike. Skylar Diggins-Smith had some solid numbers over the past 3 games, but I went with Nneka. Over the past 3 games, she had a 19.33 points per game, 8.33 rebounds per game, 1 assist per game, 1.33 steals per game, and 8.66 blocks per game. Nneka continues to be big. She continues to be the steadying presence for this Storm team, and you long as you keep her involved, you keep getting her the ball, whether it is seeing her hit some great shots off dribble handoffs, getting her involved any way you can, Seattle will be just fine. So the only thing we've got here in regards to team-related notes is on the 11th, we found out that guard Jewell Loyd was named to the Team USA roster for the 2024 Olympics. It will be the second Olympic Games for Loyd. The Lincolnwood, Illinois native was part of the 2022 USA women's national team, which captured its 11th World Cup gold medal in Sydney. The world title also qualified the U.S. for the Paris Games. Loyd was part of the national team that won the gold medal at the 2020 Tokyo Games. So congratulations to the Gold Mamba on that. The Storm sit at a 9-win, 5-loss record, good for 4th overall in the WNBA, 2nd in the Western Conference behind those Minnesota Lynx. Looking ahead, they played 2 games this week, 1 on the road, 1 at home to begin an 8-game homestand. June 19th at the Las Vegas Aces is a 7 o'clock start. That's on ESPN Las Vegas, 1100 a.m. and 100.9 FM. Fox 13 Plus and Amazon Prime Video in Seattle. It's also on NBA TV and Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network. June 23rd versus the Connecticut Sun is a 12 p.m. noon start time. That is on Fox 13 Plus and Amazon Prime Video in Seattle, NBA TV Canada, NBC Sports Boston, and ESPN 3.
Hey, Charles.
Hey, Jen.
Hey, where are you going to watch the Seattle Storm away games this year?
Away games. Well, Rough and Tumble is the home of Circling Seattle Sports, so I was thinking of coming here if that's okay with you.
I think that makes a lot of sense. See you all here.